Good afternoon. So I've been working on this video for a couple of weeks now, just taking snippets of different things that I've been doing to study Spanish, and I wanted to share it with you, but give you like a bit of an intro to what you're going to be seeing in this video. As many of you know, I've been living in Mexico now for casi 4 años, but I work from home, I work in English, my boyfriend and I speak English together, and a lot of the people that I meet are English speakers, and we travel a lot, and that Spanish has been great. I feel really comfortable in restaurants, at bus stations, airports, day-to-day living here in Mexico has been great. My Spanish has improved a lot, and I feel really comfortable in quite simple situations, but I still I still struggle with really in-depth conversations. I still struggle with reading books and the news when it's super specific and there's a lot of vocabulary that I don't know. I still mix up tenses a lot. I still make a ton of mistakes, but I'm really working hard. I started properly focusing on my Spanish studies in July of 2019. For those of you that haven't seen that video, I did a Baselang grammarless program, which was a 2-month immersive Spanish course that I did 2 hours every day, and it really kickstarted everything. I'll put a link to that video up here so you can check that out. But since then, I've still been studying 5 days a week, an hour a day with a teacher on Baselang using their real world program. And I've also been dabbling in lots of different things. So I'll also be showing you the course that I've been taking on and off through iwillteachyoualanguage.com. I really like their website because it focuses on speaking. It focuses on skipping over the jargon and figuring out how to make studying a language part of your day-to-day life, which I think is awesome. And then I've also been using a couple of other books and methods to improve my vocabulary and stuff, so I'll be sharing all that with you too. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're studying Spanish, if you're trying to learn a language in general, I hope this is helpful. If it is, please give it a thumbs up, and let's get started. So first, let's talk about the thing that has made the biggest impact, and for me that has been studying with a teacher 5 days a week. I do 1 hour sort of conversation lessons with different teachers on Baselang. If you're not familiar with Baselang, they have a few different programs, but I do the real world program, which is $150 a month for unlimited classes. You can book them anytime you want. You can book them up to 5 minutes before, but I don't recommend doing that because there aren't that many teachers available 5 minutes before. I usually book my teachers as soon as I can, which is up to 5 days before the lesson. I've tried lots of different teachers. There's a lot that I really like, and I usually have lessons with them across the week, Monday to Friday. I have different teachers almost every day because I really like listening to different accents, practicing with different people. We talk about totally different things depending on their interests and what we have in common and stuff. So that's been super, super helpful. It's helped me so much with my confidence because I'm literally doing the very thing that I feel like I'm the worst at, which is having in-depth conversations in Spanish. We don't speak any English during the lesson. If I get a new teacher and they start to speak a bit of English, I ask them not to. And I only speak English if there's a word that I don't know how to say in Spanish and I want to ask how do I say this? Or sometimes I come into a lesson with phrases and idioms in English that I wish I knew how to say in Spanish, and I ask about that. But otherwise, the class is completely in Spanish. There is a curriculum for their real world program that you can follow as well if you want to have a little bit more structure. But for me, I feel like I'm getting a bit of that grammar outside of the class. And I prefer to really just practice speaking and listening, which has been something that's really challenging for me, especially with teachers from other countries. A lot of the teachers in Baselang are from Venezuela, so their accents are totally different than Mexican accents, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying the challenge of trying to not translate to English, trying to have a conversation that has flow, and it's just been like really fantastic. I've been doing that since September 2019, with a few weeks off in between for vacations and Christmas and stuff. But otherwise, I pretty much have a class every day, Monday to Friday, for 1 hour. And I highly recommend it if you really want to like push on with your speaking and your listening skills. It's really like, I haven't found anything like it for this value. Like for $150, you get unlimited classes. For me, that was better than italki and all those other sort of websites where you can like pay by the class. If you don't need to take that many classes, you can also just pay by the hour on Baselang, and it's $9 an hour for a class on there, so pretty good. I'll show you a clip of like what one of my classes has been like recently, just to get an idea of like how it goes. We use Zoom, which is sort of like Skype but better, and yeah, it's super simple to sign up and take their classes.
Sí, muy bien. ¿Qué hice? Sí, exacto. Sí, muchos tacos. Comí muchos tacos. En sábado fui al parque para correr en la mañana y usualmente es el día que voy al supermercado. Pero después mi novio y yo fuimos a la ciudad para comer tacos. Encontré no es un lugar nuevo, pero es nuevo para mí, ¿no?
The British flag while I study Spanish. So I recently started adding like more study time to my day. Usually I spend an hour having a conversation class or like something similar with Baselang, the real world program that I've been doing. But this week, pretty much, I started doing more grammar study, because basically, like, while I feel like I'm learning a lot from the conversations, I don't feel like I'm solidifying like my understanding of the grammar. And I know a lot of people will say like that comes with like more practice and stuff, but like I know the kind of learner that I am, and I kind of enjoy these sort of study tools. So I'll show you the book that I've been using. I don't want to lose my page. Don't Mock My Betting. I love it. So it's Complete Spanish Grammar. There are actually 2 books by this company that are about Spanish, and the other one is like sort of supposed to be the total Spanish learning book. But I knew that I was already getting like a decent amount of study from like my lesson. So I just wanted something that would help me like solidify more grammar. And so far, I feel like this is super helpful because it's really easily explained. Everything is super straightforward. The examples are great. And I enjoyed the exercises because they don't feel like too grammar focused, if you know what I mean. Like, and each chapter is based on, at this point that I've reached to chapter 6, has all been like different tenses. So I feel like it's a super fantastic companion to my speaking practice. It's the best that I found so far, and now that I'm like self-motivating to actually like study it, and because I feel like I'm at a point where I understand a lot more Spanish, the book has been super helpful. I would not recommend this book if like you're just starting out learning Spanish, because it's kind of advanced in like the vocabulary, and if you start doing the book and you're just learning Spanish now, you're going to be like looking up for words a lot. You're going to be like a little bit confused, and I think that you'll probably lose motivation and you won't keep using this book. So let me show you a few of the pages just to give you an idea of what each chapter is like. They're all pretty much set out the same. They start by giving you an explanation of the tense, how it's used, when it's used. It's super straightforward. There are examples. The examples are in Spanish, and then there's an English translation. All the directions and information are in English, and then when you get into the exercises, the directions for the exercises are in Spanish, and then, yeah. So let me show you. So this is the chapter that I've been doing today. I know that like some of you will say probably this is a bit basic, but I wanted to start from the beginning of the book because I really wanted to solidify the basics. I think when you're self-learning a language, it's easy to sort of skip over things that are like you think are too easy, but actually when you go back you're like, oh, I've been using this wrong. So yeah, so basically you get like a little information here, then it gives you how to conjugate those in regular, and then you have a few exercises to practice, and then irregular verbs, and then another like explanation, more exercises, vocabulary. This particular chapter on the imperfect has been very thorough because the imperfect can be a bit confusing. The preterite section wasn't quite this thorough. How many times can I say thorough? So yeah, lots of exercises to practice. Yes, I have very messy handwriting. And at the end of every chapter, there is a like paragraph to translate where you practice the tenses that you've learned in that chapter. And the thing that I find really great about these are that they're bringing together like previous chapters too, so it's not just using the tense that you've just learned, but you're also using the tenses that you learned in the previous chapters, and the vocabulary repeats itself a lot, so you're actually like learning the words on here like over and over again, so it's like actually solidifying properly. So I'm taking another course, which is through I Will Teach You a Language. It's a website that focuses on all different types of languages. They have lots of tips, and they also have several courses, including 3 for Spanish that I'm gonna go through. I already worked my way through the first one. If you're not a total beginner, skip it. So I am starting today with their Grammar Hero course. This is an intermediate Spanish course. It focuses on reading, listening, speaking, and vocabulary. I'm really excited to check it out. I don't know anything about it yet. I'm starting fresh just like you are while watching this video. So if you are thinking about this course, I hope this video helps you. I will do another video to review the 3rd, more advanced course. So keep an eye out for that in the coming months. Let's see what this is all about. Right, so without giving too much away, the course, from what I've gathered in the introductory section of the course, is really focused on reading and storytelling, and how this is a really valuable way to learn and remember and recall things. So I'm excited because that is a huge problem that I have. I think I'm learning lots of vocabulary, and then when I try to recall those words that I want to say, I don't know them. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's sort of broken into 4, each chapter is broken into 4 steps, or each lesson is broken into 4 steps. You have discover, learn, internalize, and activate. In the discover, you basically have the story. You can listen to it and read it. They recommend doing both several times until you really feel like you understand exactly what it's saying. So yeah, I've already listened to it once and read it. It's a good level. I understand most of what's being said. When I read it, I understand pretty much all of it. But a word of warning to those that are trying to learn Latin America Spanish, this is like Spanish accents from Spain. There are a few vosotros tenses in there, but for me, I actually think that's really helpful. I may or may not live in Mexico for my whole life, so it's good to learn a well-rounded Spanish, in my opinion. And also, if I can understand that, I can definitely understand what's happening here in Mexico, because they speak much quicker on this audio, and sort of blend their words together a lot more than they do here in Mexico City, where they are notoriously slow speakers. So the other really big thing that I've been doing is journaling. I'm already like quite a big journaler. Put it out there for you. I journal almost every day in English, so I thought it was a natural thing to start journaling in Spanish. I thought it's something that I enjoy doing. It's something that I really want to improve on with my like fluidity, so that I'm like thinking in Spanish as well. And I think already it's helped a lot with my speaking Spanish, because I'm like improving my mind and thinking in Spanish while I'm writing, and it's helping with I'm speaking. So yeah, I probably started I started 2 months ago. I started mid-January, so I've been doing about 6-7 weeks. but not every day. I definitely don't do it every day, but it's been super helpful, and just something that if you enjoy doing it already in English, try doing it in Spanish. The last few things that I've been doing are literally just like really quick things that lots of people always recommend, and I just didn't do because, to be honest, if I can't understand it super well, I not paying attention. So it's only been recently that I've been better at like understanding, reading things like the news or reading blogs in Spanish, and then watching YouTube videos in Spanish as well. I'll show you some of my favorite channels in case you're looking for some recommendations. If you have more recommendations for channels in Spanish that are fun and easy watches, please let me know in the comments below. So this channel is Zach Morris, incredible name. He is an American living in Colombia, and I really enjoy his videos. I think they're funny. I think they're topical for learning Spanish and getting to better understand cultural norms, especially in Colombia. So yeah, this is one of my favorites, and I think it's worth checking out. Güero Güero TV is a channel that I recently found. They are two foreigners. I believe one of them is German, but they live in Mexico. They do their videos in Spanish. They're also like quite silly. I haven't watched all of them because I think some of them are a bit too silly, but it's good. Viaje Fest is probably one of my favorite channels. They are Mexicans. They travel Mexico. All the videos are in Spanish and about specific destinations, so it's great for trip planning and just fun to practice my listening. Vagaboom is probably the channel I watch the most. He is Swiss, but he speaks, oh my gosh, tons of languages. All of his videos are in Spanish, especially the more recent ones in the last few years. He and his Mexican wife travel Mexico. They just had a baby. His videos are just hilarious. I highly recommend them. Y ahora, si todavía estás viendo este video, wow, gracias. La última cosa que quiero hacer para practicar mi español es para hacer más videos en español. Siento nerviosa, pero muchos de ustedes me han preguntado para hacer videos en español, entonces voy a tratar de hacer, no sé, un video cada semana si puedo, o un video cada 2 semanas en español. Entonces, muchísimas gracias para ver este video y see you next time. Bye.